building something new together with a shared purpose. Passion and pace, determination and disruption. So at BP, for us, with open innovation, it's not so much about picking one or two specific activities that are most important. It's more about the seamless integration of the set of activities that we have around open innovation, whether that's investing in startup companies, relating and working with universities, other corporate partners, or other partnerships that we have. It's the ability for us to generate a frictionless interface between all of those activities and with our staff inside BP, so that ideas can move in a really fluid way around the innovation ecosystem that we have, and in a way which creates win-win relationships between all those parties. Within BP, we have completely reorganized the whole company recently in service of our new strategy and purpose, which is to take the company to a net zero state in 2050 or sooner. And as part of that, we've recognized that innovation, and particularly open innovation, is a core part of what will drive us towards that ambition and that goal. And in service of that, what we've done is we've created an entire organization that is dedicated to innovation and engineering. And for the first time in BP's more than 100-year history, what that's done is it's brought together our scientists, our engineers, and all of our digital capability into one place, and aligned that with our commercial innovation capability, our ability to invest and put commercial structures around innovation that allow us to scale those innovations into new businesses. So all of that sits together in one organization, and what that does is it enables us to move from idea and origination through testing of those ideas and then scaling them up into new businesses, all through one set of capabilities. And so that's what I'm excited about around our new organization. So for us, when we think about measuring the success of open innovation, we don't think about one specific measure. We think about a whole host of different indicators that tell us if we're going in the right direction. We think about some things which you might imagine that we would. So we think about value, and that's value that's created not just for BP, but for all of the stakeholders that are engaged around a particular innovation and around the ecosystem that we create. So value for the startup that we're partnering with, or value for the university, or value for other partners that we have in that process. So we do think about that, and that comes in the form of increased revenue, enterprise value, customer acquisition, some of the things that you might imagine we would look at. But we also look at the inputs to innovation. We look at how inventive we're being through traditional measures such as how much we're patenting, how much we're inventing, how full is our hopper of ideas. But then I think we also look at some things which may be more surprising or less about the financials and more about the pace at which we're operating. So we look at the cycle time of our innovation. How quickly are we moving through the process? How quickly are ideas moving from inception to testing to investment and scaling? And we look at the feedback from our various different stakeholders. We look at things like net promoter scores in the startups that we work with. Would people work with us again? Are we being good partners? Are we showing long-term commitment to these innovations? So all of those measures are important to us. I think a lot for me and for us when we work in BP, a lot of the barriers I see around open innovation that we've yet to fully overcome are to do with people and culture and the way in which we interact through our relationships with talent and forming teams. And what I mean by that is the potential clash of cultures as we work between an entrepreneurial startup and a large corporation. The ability for us to not only attract really great talent from a diversity of sources, but to build that talent into really high-performing teams that are passionate about a particular idea, but also have the ability and the determination and the resilience to take that idea through to completion and through what is typically a very bumpy journey for any innovation to make it through to a substantial new business or value creation. So it's about the way in which we create trust between the different people that we're involved with. There is an understandable, I think, mistrust in some areas of large corporations, what their agenda is, how they relate to small companies, and how to create an effective balance of power in those relationships. That's something that I think is particularly on my mind, and that comes with track record, and it comes with delivering on commitments and doing what we say that we're going to do in order to build that trust and to build the reputation in the market as a really high integrity partner and an effective partner in innovation. So it's really those issues around people and trust and relationships that I think are still work in progress for us. So for us at BP, one of the things that I'm particularly interested in is what we call digital adjacencies. And what I mean by that is data or digitally led new opportunities that play to some of the strengths that BP already has, whether those strengths are in our domain knowledge, our knowledge of energy systems, our scale and presence around the world, and the relationships that we have. So a couple of examples in that space are what we call industrial analytics. And this is a huge new emerging space around real-time sensing, algorithmic signal processing and analytics, and ultimately optimization and decision making. So optimizing supply chains, optimizing operations in industrial settings, optimizing and minimizing the carbon footprint of certain operations. So we think that is a huge space. Another example would be something we call intelligent commodities. And as we are seeing more and more emerging commodities, whether that be carbon offsets, whether it's water, whether it's lithium and cobalt for batteries, or whether it's existing commodities such as natural gas, which are differentiated by the way in which they're produced. Other commodities that are emerging might be hydrogen, again differentiated by how and where they're produced. So we think there's an enormous new value space there, which is yet to be tapped into in creating the provenance and the right trading environment for those new commodities. So those are just a couple of examples. A huge thank you from BP to Mind the Bridge and the ICC for the recognition. It means so much to the team. Thank you very much.